أعوذ
بسم الله.
بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا سبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you, sir. Jazakallah khair. Let us now commence the main agenda with the welcome address by our Joint Secretary of OMA, Muhammad Anif Latif Sahib.
نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Respected Dr. Abdul Kamal Nasir, Academic Coordinator OMIAT, Madam Sameem Raja, Principal Ar-Rahman International School, Melur, Madurai, and respected science teachers who are gathered today. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to today's program, which is going to be addressed by Ms.Sameem Raja, inshallah. And I welcome from the bottom of my heart Ms. Sameem Raja, who will be our resource person today, who will be speaking on the topic how to guide a student to do its science fair project. Alhamdulillah, we have reached the second session of the three session series, which was inaugurated last Saturday, and which will be having its final session next Saturday, inshallah. I welcome you all again to this session and hope that this will definitely be very beneficial for you, and it will give you, the guidelines how to prepare a student for participation in a science fair which is going to be conducted next year, inshallah, a National Science Fair 2022 by OMIAT. So welcoming all of you once again, I take leave of you and hand over the mic to Dr. Kamal Abdul Nasir Sahib. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, sir. Jazakallah khairan. Now, I wish to introduce the resource person for the today's session. We have with us Sister Sameem Raja, Principal of Ar-Rahman International School, Melur, Madurai. Sister is not new to us. She has already conducted 2 webinars in the last year, one for the teacher, one for the students, for the last National Science Fair, which we conducted. Now we have with her again to address the teachers on the topic how to guide the students to do a science fair project. She is well experienced in this field. Sister Sameem Raja has conducted more than 10 webinars on this topic. As well, she has published 3 articles. She, as a school teacher, to publish article in reputed journal is something great. She has published 3 articles, one on project-based learning, another on paradigm shift in elementary science, and another article published in Osmania University on best practices in teaching science. And over and above, very important thing is, last I remember 3 National Science Fairs, two which were conducted in AMS College, and one which was conducted in Danish Ahmed College. In all the three last regular science fair, not online, and the students from the Ar-Rahman school headed by Sameem Raja won many prizes. Not only that, the student won prize, all the students who took part followed the scientific methodology strictly. As well, they gathered enormous data and submitted the project, and which was the highlight of the three science fairs. I would like to tell one thing. One occasion, when we were scrutinizing the abstracts of the one project from Ar-Rahman School headed by Sameem Raja, the judge took the copy of the abstract and told, the judge is of course a college professor, she told, I'm going to show it to my college students and to tell them what a good project is done by the school students. So as a good illustration, I'm going to show it to them. So such an extent, Sameem Raja has expertised in the field. Of course, I hope all the participants today will take the benefit of our presentation. Before moving to the presentation, as a co-convener of the National Science Fair, last 13th Science Fair OMIAT has conducted, inshallah. 14th is going to come up in the January or February in 2022. I would like to tell all the science teachers, say this is a program targeted mainly to the science teachers. I would like to inform one thing, that see, most of the teachers who are attending, whose schools have already participated in our science fair. And I would like to emphasize one point, that every year we get more than 500 entries for the science fair. We get the synopsis of the abstract, but hardly only 150 projects we select. That means nearly 2/3 of the proposals, the synopsis of the projects, we are not able to select. I just emphasize a point, why a project is not selected. In any occasion, the idea is very good. The project idea is very good. The main reason for the project not being selected is they do not carry out the experimental part. They do not carry out the project following the scientific methodology. So it is where you need to focus attention in this today's presentation. So a project has to be done following the scientific methodology. That is the number one. Number two, actually the student has to do experiment, and the student has to understand the variables. What are the constant variable? What is the dependent variable, independent variable? Student has to understand and replicate the experiment, collect the data, and analyze the data statistically. So it is where the many students make mistake. That is, they do not conduct the experiment, they do not conduct the collect the experiment data properly. That is the reason the many projects are not selected. I hope the participants who are attending today have this in mind and attend not only today's session, and we have the 4 seminar series. It is a second one. We have 2 more. Next Saturday, the topic will be on biological project, biological and environmental project. Preparation of biological and environmental projects will be dealt by Dr. Sultan Mehdi next Saturday. And last fourth Saturday, the topic will be the preparation of physical science project that will be dealt by Dr. Imran and myself. I think you attend this webinar with a focus on learning the scientific methodology, how to conduct the experiment, understanding the variable and collection of data. You focus more attention on it so that in the years to come, if the 500 abstract come, 500 should be selected. That is what we need. With this, I hand over the session to Sister Sameem Raja. Over to Sister.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum, and thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, and thanks for the opportunity had given. Just a minute. Assalamu alaikum, and happy evening to all the science teachers who are gathered here. A few minutes before, Nazis has said about our school projects, right? Actually, science fair is very new to me and my school science teachers 4 years before. So myself and my teachers, I attended Dr. Saab and Nazir's presentation, and we learned a lot. We learned the proper way of doing a science fair project, which helped us to guide our students. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity provided by OMIA, through which we endeavored more towards research and projects. Thank you, sir. And it was not only headed by me, and it is a teamwork of my science teachers. And I use this opportunity to thank to all my science teachers who really understand what is a science fair project and who guide the students towards a proper scientific methodology. Shall we get into the session? Yeah, I hope everyone remember the saying. Last week, Dr. Saab quoted the saying, nations who progressed in the field of science and technology have always prospered and played an important role of leadership in the world. As teachers, what is our part in it? We must think over it. So because a teacher has a power to build a strong nation. Teachers are the prime providers of knowledge and wisdom. I hope everyone agree with me. See, the role of science teacher as a national builder is to develop the scientific temper among the students. So we are dealing with young minds. It is easy for us to mold the young minds and inculcate the spirit of science and research in our young minds, which in turn develop many scientists among our students, and thereby develop our nation in the field of science and technology. See, but is that the way actually our science classes are going? So it is a hard part to accept that most of our science classes are taught like language or history classes. Mostly we are teaching the science on blackboard or delivering all the ready-made facts, whatever in the textbook to the students. We are most science classes, we are not providing the opportunity for the students to experiment, to observe, to come out with their innovative ideas and come out with their findings. See, we are just delivering the facts and we are making the students to just memorizing whatever in the textbook. See, making the students to rote learn, it kills the scientific temper among the students. So instead, science classes must be taken in such a way to feed the science process skills. See, these are the science process skills we have to develop among the students. Observing, observing is nothing but we are using the senses to gather the information about an object or event. For example, we used to describe a pencil as yellow, long, short. So that is based on our observation, right? Inferring. It is one of a science process skills where it is a process of reaching a conclusion about something from the known facts or the evidence. For example, we may say it seems like it is cold outside, because everyone I see is wearing a coat. By observing many people wearing coat outside, we are inferring that it is cold outside. So that was inferring. And measuring. In measuring, we use both the standard and non-standard measures or estimate to describe the dimensions of an object or an event. For example, you use a meter stick to measure the length of a table in centimeters. And then communicating. It is using words or a graphic symbols we used to describe an action, an object, or an event. For example, describing the change in the height of the plant over a time through writing or through a graph. Classifying, it is another science skill, and it is about grouping or ordering the objects or events into categories based on the properties or criteria. For example, placing all the rocks have certain grain size or hardness into one group. Predicting, it is the most important science process skill, and it is a guess about what might happen in the future based on the observation that you make. For example, predicting the height of the plant in the next 2 weeks time based on the graph it goes during the previous 4 weeks. So science fair. See, science fair acts as one of the main tool to enrich those science process skills we had seen in our previous slide. See, the most obvious goal of the science fair is to extend the students' understanding of science. See, science is hands-on by nature, and there is no doubt hands-on experiences facilitate the learning process in most easy and interesting way. See, there is a saying, you should not teach science, you have to show science. So the scientific method allows scientists to collect and analyze the data in a most strategic and unified way. So when students use the scientific method to design and execute a project, they use the same steps as scientists use to gather new information. So science fair can be a great way to spark students' interest in science. And see, here I had kept a few images. See, in the left side, just a lemon battery model is just built. But in the right side, there are some arrangements for measurement. This is where the science fair projects differ from the science exhibition models. So in a science exhibition, curiosity doesn't play much role. Okay, it is just the students used to display already established facts. But in the case of science fair, here are all the drawings. Okay. Yeah. See, but in case of science fair, the projects are curiosity driven. See, data is collected through experimentation to find the results which are not known before. The students use their own creative scientific and techniques and procedures. See, science exhibition do not have an element of research, where a science fair, it is a research-based activity in which we used to design an experiment to find whether the hypothesis is right or wrong. So the first one is the just science exhibition model, and the second one is the science fair model. See, in many school exhibitions, we had seen the display of solar system, the type of volcanoes, dinosaurs, how electric motors work, the working function of the working model of lungs, heart, and so on. See, but all those are just working models, but they do not really test anything. Just students build the models by seeing YouTube and some other thing, but there is no space for the creativity and the innovation. Like the effect of detergent on growth of plants, which paper towel is more absorbent, what structure can withstand most amount of weight. All these shows some testing is being done and data is collected. kids love play. We know that obviously kids love experimenting too. As a science teacher, we should provide space for the students to do experiment. Experiment plays a major role in a science fair project. Okay. What type of projects you should do for a science fair? So you should do a project which emphasizes on using the scientific method. So which is the way real scientists investigate in the real scientific labs. So you should do projects which allows the investigation by experimentation and develop critical thinking of the students. So you should develop the positive learning experience